Well, that was a bit good, wasn't it? I'll just move my mic. Hang on. There we go. That was good. A bit of a relief, first of all, in the result, but a pretty good game to watch. Strubable it's a lot of fun when it goes well, isn't it? Yeah. What a good day out that was. I really enjoyed today. The weather was crap, but it didn't matter because Bristol City won 4-2. I've got some notes that I was taking throughout the game, so we'll talk about some moments of the game. As usual, I've got FOTMob, the trusty FOTMob next to me with all the formations, player ratings. It can talk us through the stats of the game, etc. So, yeah, I'll stay live probably for about 15 minutes because I'm going on holiday tomorrow and I've got a really early flight. So I'd quite like to wrap this up, get some dinner in and go to bed as early as possible. But what a game. What a way to end the start of our season. You know, I think the first 4 championship games are kind of a bit of a yardstick for us, I reckon. 2 wins, 2 draws, undefeated. Pretty good going, isn't it? How many clean sheets is that? So 2 clean sheets out of the 2 games. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good place to be, isn't it? 2 clean sheets? I think it's 2 clean sheets. So, the game then started off in the 3rd minute. We had a very rare Rob Atkinson mistake where he gave the ball away stupidly to Joe Gelhardt. I think it was Joe Gelhardt, or he gave the ball away stupidly. I think it might have been David, actually. Yeah. So we were 1-0 down after 3 minutes, which was not great. But then we dominated the game, I think, all the way through the first half. Couple of half chances until... When did we have it? Until the 14th, sort of 15th minute when Reece put in his first goal. The ball was won on the press by Sykes, passed it on to Viner, who crossed the ball kind of long to the back stick to McCrory. His cross then went in, which Reece tapped in. So that was Reece's first goal. 32nd minute, cross went in across the box again to Ross McCrory. Won a massive header against the whole defender. Tapped it across to Mehmeti, who slotted it away to make it 2-1. We had the lead, we had the ascendancy then. That was where the game was almost wrapped up, really, to be honest. Obviously, Hull scored a second towards the end of the game, but I thought we really got the initiative there. And then in the 41st minute, well, Hull gave away the ball, so it was time for Hull to give the ball away. Gave it away to Reece for a tidy finish. Apparently, by the way, we had 16 shots in the first half. If you look at the stats, where are the stats? Here are the stats. If you look at the stats, Bristol City had 29 shots. When's the last time Bristol City had 29 shots in a game? When can you last remember that? Absolutely insane. We had some substitutions. So in the 55th minute, I was quite surprised to see Mark Sykes taken off because I don't think he had a bad game at all. But when you came on, he had a mega game, did you, today? So fair play. I saw Max Bird was warming up and ready to come on in the 72nd minute. And I was really worried that he'd sub off Randall. And he obviously didn't. For somehow, I think Randall had a better game than Knight. He was mega for us again, was Randall. What a signing he's been. £500,000 it cost us from Plymouth. And he's probably been better than Jason Knight to start the season off, I would say. Knight has taken a little bit of time, I think, to get up to speed. And they made John Lundstrom look like a bit of a mug, to be honest. He's a former Premier League footballer, good to a good level is John Lundstrom. But the two of Randall and Knight ran rings around him, really. A few subs came on in the second half, second half, we already know that. In the 83rd minutes, we had George Tanner, Fally Mayulu come on, and Harry Cornick as well. So Mehmeti, Reece, and Atkinson all came off. I thought George Tanner was slightly at fault for the second goal that Hull scored. Could have done a little bit more. Fally was decent enough, had one chance where he got him behind. And yeah, it was just good in general to see Harry Cornick come on the pitch, wasn't it? Talking through the individual players then. Well, Vitek had a couple of big saves, and I thought his distribution was a lot better in this game. Vitek's mega, isn't he? What a signing we've made to get him on loan from Man United. The only worry is for Man United, I haven't caught up on their game against Burnley yet, but I heard that Bayandir made a mistake in that game. So Onana had obviously a poor one against Grimsby. Bayandir had a terrible one against Burnley. He's made mistakes in other games as well. So could Vitek be called back to Man United? I'd be a little bit worried about that, to be honest with you. Man United are in the market at the moment for a new goalkeeper as well. Excuse me. So, yeah, we'll see on that one. I think we should be safe, but I'd be a little bit worried that Vitek is currently Man United's best goalkeeper and he's out on loan with us. The three at the back was Atkinson, Dickey and Viner. Viner, I was told before the game, I didn't want to share it because, well, I don't think, I'm just a bloke who talks about Bristol City, so I don't think it would have had an impact on the game. But if I tweeted this morning about a Wrexham bid in for Viner, I just was a little bit worried it would unsettle things if that got passed round. But yeah, he's subject to a bid from Wrexham. I don't even think the bid was today. I think it was sometime this week. 1.75 million it's been reported that they went in at. I'm not sure. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if we'll let him go for that. The thing is with Wrexham, they've got a war chest, as we know. But would you let Viner go? You know, he's come through the academy at this club, played 45 games in a playoff season last year. Not sure I would let him go, to be honest. Dickey, solid game. I thought in the first half, I was a little bit concerned by the two Hull wingers in Indala and David. I thought they looked pretty spicy. And then McBurney gave it to Dickey a couple of times at the start of the first half. Dickey dealt with it fairly well and just had a solid, steady Dickey game, didn't he? Atkinson obviously made the mistake for the first goal. Un-Atkinson-like, I would say. And then, to be honest, fair play to him, because making a mistake like that, you know, it might rattle most players, but he seemed to just grow into the game after that, and the mistake was just a thing of the past. I thought Atkinson had a great game, other than the mistake. McCrory, he was wonderful today. I thought, won a header for the second goal, an absolutely mega sort of win in the air for that one. And yeah, he played full 90 minutes, running up and down the left-hand side. Almost made us look like we didn't need a left-footed, left-sided defender in that game, to be honest with you. But yeah, McCrory can't do that 90 minutes every week, can he? But he was mega today. What a player we've got in McCrory. Really happy to see him and Gerhard getting the best out of him. Randall and Knight in the midfield. Thought Randall actually had a better game than Knight, to be honest with you. He's just so good, isn't he, Randall? I mean, we lose something when he's off the pitch, which I think says all you need to know. And I was really glad he stayed on and played a full 90. Doesn't do anything like spectacular, but he breaks up the game really well. He's constantly scanning the pitch when he doesn't have the ball. Makes the simple kind of passes that you want to see, which is exactly what Jason Knight does as well. I thought Jason Knight had a decent game. Couple of occasions he gave the ball away. One of them I remember he had a chance to play. I think it was Mehmeti in behind in the first half. He didn't quite make the pass. I think he's still making a few loose and sort of failed passes as Jason Knight, but you know, he's Jason Knight. He's one of our best players, isn't he? Or our best player. Sykes, I thought, had a decent game. His press made, I think it was the second goal. So yeah, the second goal that Reece scored. It was Sykes that won the ball high up on the press. Viner then crossed the ball over to McCrory, who won the header to get it across to Reece for the goal. Yeah, that was the first goal, wasn't it, that one? That was all Sykes. And then I was quite surprised, like I said earlier, for him to be subbed on 55 minutes. I didn't quite expect that. But you came on, didn't he? And looks mega. He only got a 6.8 rating, did you? But I thought he had a mega game. Both on the ball and off the ball, he was fantastic today. His tenacity, yeah, was clear to see. I thought you put in a really good performance. Sykes, another player, by the way. Obviously, Viner with a year left on his contract, subject to a bid from Wrexham. Sykes also has a year left on his contract, as does Mehmeti as well. So 3 players in our starting 11 today with a year left on their contracts. Just wanted to point that out. Max Bird came on in the 72nd minute. I was a little bit worried about that because he was warming up, ready to come on, and I was just terrified that he'd take Randall off. Obviously, he didn't do that, which was good. I think we've lost in the 2 games that Randall in the Championship has been subbed. I think we've really lost something when that's happened, and I think Struber would agree with that because he took off Scott Twine for Max Bird. And actually, not only did we keep Randall on the pitch, but I thought Max Bird looked his best in that position. I thought he was fantastic playing in that sort of right-sided number 10. Obviously, scored a goal, fantastic goal, and hit the bar as well, I believe, if I remember rightly. So, yeah, I thought Max Bird was really good. Mehmeti, I think he had a few moments in the game where he was frustrating, but there's no way that you can say he had a poor game because he scored a goal and got an assist. And only really Mehmeti would have made the final goal, I think. Only Mehmeti would have made that 4th goal. I made a mistake on Twitter. I was calling for Fally Mayulu to be subbed on in sort of the 60th minute for Mehmeti. So I was starting to get a little bit frustrated with him. But to be honest, our 4th goal wouldn't have come if that happened. I thought Mehmeti had another good game. And then I think he's got to be man of the match, hasn't he? Emil Reece, what a game. What a striker we've got on him, with him, right? Runs the channels, holds the ball up, and he proved with that, certainly that second finish, he's an absolute slotter, isn't he? Running in behind as he did, obviously after they gave the ball away. You think of some of the other players we have in our squad. Would they have finished that chance? Probably not. So, yeah, very, very, very happy to have Emil Rees in our team. I think he's fantastic. He ticks all the boxes of a striker that I think Gerhard Struber would want in his team. You know, runs the channels, presses, holds the ball up, is big physically, so is a threat in the air, is quick. He's brilliant, isn't he? Scott Twine, I thought, had a really good game as well. Didn't get a goal or an assist to his credit, but I thought for the 72 minutes he played, he was really good. Don't have too much to say on Scott Twine, other than I thought he put in a really good performance. Let's have a look at the chat then. If we do some player ratings, so what would you give VTech? I would give VTech, I think his distribution was on the money today. His saves, made a couple of really crucial saves to keep us, from being in any kind of danger. I think VTech was an 8.59 today, I reckon. What do you guys think in the chat? I think we've got 50 people in here at the moment, so let me know what you'd give VTech as a rating. Sky Code Alpha, a 6.8. Really? I think VTech's an 8.5 for me. Good to see you, Roaster. Alan, good to see you. Dave, great win and result. Yeah, exactly. What next? Viner. I thought Viner was a solid. I think the whole back line would probably give them the same rating apart from Atkinson, because you'd knock him off for his mistake. I think Viner and Dickey. Actually, no, Viner was really good. I'd give Viner a 7.5, Dickey a 7, and then Atkinson I'd give a 6.5, I reckon, because we did concede a couple of goals. But to be fair, the second goal that Hull scored was, I thought, Tanner's fault, to be completely honest with you. McCrory, I think he's fair on FOTMob. 8.59. I think both. I think Randall's 8.5 for me. Knight gets a 7.58. Sykes for me, I think, is a 7.5. Not quite as good as McCrory, but I thought he was good while he was on the pitch. Sorry, I'm making it hard to follow along in the chat. We're just rating players now. Mehmeti, I'd give a solid sort of 8.52. I think Rees is a 9.5 today. He had a mega game, didn't he? And then Scott Twine, I think that's a fair rating with a 7.5 for him. Got some tweets in my bookmarks. Yeah, Toby, our stadium announcer. Good job from Toby today, by the way. I thought he had a lot to do at half time with the three things we had going on. I think he's a great announcer. Yeah. Talking about VTech, I replied to him saying, if we big up VTech too much, he could be back to Man United, right? I'm a little bit worried about that. Forever Bristol City, Dave, I think this is Dave who must run the Twitter account. If Carlsberg did football matches, it would be like this every week. A stunning, I would agree. That was really entertaining, wasn't it? Really entertaining game today. Yeah, Ellie saying, thank you, our mid-table brothers, for Emil Rees. What a player. Very happy to have him. Yeah, there's the tweet. So this is a Sky Sports journalist, Anthony Joseph, saying that Wrexham are in talks. They've had an initial bid of 1.75 million rejected for Zach Viner. And then I thought Bristol City FM did some really good tweets throughout the game. I'd recommend following him, to be honest. He knows the game pretty well, I would say. And yeah, the shackles are gone. I wanted to point those words out in particular because I think that's something you can definitely say about Struber ball that we didn't have with Manning ball. I feel like some of the players have been completely unshackled and are free to play as they wish. And yeah, you can really see that with you, Twine, Mehmeti. The shackles are definitely off. Ewan seemed pretty hell-bent that he wants Viner to... I would agree. I think he's been immense. We'd be silly not to sign him to a new deal. Unless, of course, he's demanding huge wages. I don't know the contractual negotiation situation. But if he won't sign, you have to cash in. But surely he wants to stay with us. 500k for Adam Randall is mental, by the way. What a player. I'd agree with Bristol City FM. And yeah, just on the game in general. Pressing beautifully. Blocking passing lanes, we were mega. Midfield interceptions, yeah, Randall and Knight made some really crucial and important interceptions, and we definitely won that sort of midfield battle. Viner got forward quite a bit. I think that's one of the talents he has in that right centre-back position as well, is his ability on the ball and what he can do going forwards. And yeah, as he says, won't always work, but when it does, it's really fun. And we have days like today. That's kind of all I had planned for the video. We talked about the key moments of the game. We just won 4-2. And yeah, I'm off on holiday very soon, so I'm trying to wrap this up relatively quickly so I can crack on and get ready for that, to be honest with you. Tom saying, Randall, his man of the match. I will catch you at another game, mate. Jacob, shame we didn't get the pen for the handball. Yeah, I thought that was a pen. I do agree. There was a pen in there, wasn't there? Yeah, VTech was big. I agree, Julian. He knows what he's talking about, does Bristol City FM. Randall's so clever, isn't he? His brain for the game is mega. And you can always see when he doesn't have the ball, his head is on an absolute swivel, scanning the pitch. Yeah, looks mega. Always in the right places, I would agree. All right, I think we'll wrap things up there. On your way out, if you wouldn't mind, we've got 67 people watching at the moment and only 9 likes. So if you could leave a like rating on the stream, I'd really appreciate that. And just to sign off, start to the season's been really good with the results. Players on the pitch and the manager have delivered. And now I think we need the people behind the scenes to deliver. So I'm calling on them. A striker and a left wing back. I still think we are gagging for those 2 positions, right? If Reece gets injured, we're in trouble. If we need a left-sided, left-footed defender still as well, I don't think that result can paint over that crack that we need those 2 positions. And I think in order to get those 2 positions, probably Hayden Roberts and Sinclair Armstrong need to leave. So we need a good job. Sinclair didn't get any minutes today. Mayulu and Cornick got minutes. Harry Cornick got minutes, by the way. We didn't even talk about that. Anyway, he didn't really do anything in the game. That's what we need the club to do, I think. And I think if those 2 players come in, I don't know who's available at left wing back, so I'd say that's the least likely. But I think if we get a striker in, we're a top 6 contender. Because the 11 that play today, I think, is a playoff 11. But we will get injuries and we will need to rotate. So yeah. That's my final thoughts. Hope everyone has a good international break. I'm away until Wednesday. So I'll be back Wednesday afternoon. Might have a video out then or one out on Thursday. We can talk about our news. I won't be able to make one about our signings, but we can talk about them when I'm back. So yeah, hope everyone has a good international break and I'll see you in the next one.